Hello. Welcome in. I'm Tammy Mouster-Birdie, best-selling author of the book The Universe is Talking to You. And this is my weekly spirit boost. I'm live here every Thursday at noon Eastern to boost your spirit in some way, to share some spiritual guidance, spiritual teachings, things from my own life. I love to share things from my own life. I feel like as I'm learning and as things happen to me, as examples of what I teach, I like to share. So that's actually what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be sharing with you something that, or a couple of things actually, that have happened over the past week. I always tell you that your loved ones who have passed on are around you. And I always tell you that you can communicate with them and they are communicating with you and they are helping you and they are guiding you, and you can ask them for signs. If you're new to me, I'm not a psychic or a medium, although I have opened my intuition and I do intuitive work, but anybody can do this, right? Anybody can communicate with a loved one who has passed on. So it was my mother's birthday this past Tuesday, May 9th. And so she really was out and about recently because she knew that our family sort of needed her. So I find that your loved ones, they're sending you signs all the time, right? They're getting in touch with you all the time. They are trying to get in touch with you all the time. And so, but when something is going on, right, in your family, in your life, they are on it even more. They just want you to know, like, I see it, I get it, I'm helping you, etc. And so, so my mother, her birthday was May 9th. Keep that in mind. So over the past week or so, I guess I was here last Thursday. So over the past week or so, there's been some stuff going on with my dad health-wise. And we wound up, of course, he didn't tell me anything that was going on for like 3 weeks. And then once he did, we were like, okay, let's just get this checked out. And so we wound up taking him to the emergency room, not because it was a deathly emergency, but because that's where you go, where you can get a whole bunch of tests when you're trying to figure out something. And he was just having different pains all over his body. So let me sort of show you how my mom showed up during this whole thing. And my mother has been gone. I have to preface this. It's been over 20 years. She has been gone almost 23 years past. Still, the woman is around, right? So please don't think that because your loved one passed away X amount of years ago, they're not around or they're not communicating. So I do what I always do. You call in higher help. Thank you for the likes. I always forget to say, please, if you're liking this on YouTube or Facebook or even Instagram, or if you're watching this and you like it, please like the video because that does help me get it out there. So of course I did what I tell everyone to do, right? What did I do? I called in higher help. So before we even went to the hospital, I called in my mother, I called in my angels, my guides, all my loved ones who have passed on. And I said, please be with us. Allow this experience to go smoothly. Help us find a place to park, right? Help us not be sitting in the waiting room for 12,000 hours. Help this to move quickly. Let everything be okay. Let this not be anything crazy. Just please be with us, support us, and make this flow easy. Because anything that you're doing, you always want it to go as easy as possible. So why not ask for the help, right? So we went, and the parking lot was busy. And I actually passed a spot, and my father was like, oh, you passed the spot. And I was like, oh, all right, well, let me just see. There was no other spot in the parking lot. So I turned around and I went back and I got the last spot in the parking lot that was close to the door. So that was, first of all, I knew they had listened, right? Second of all, we go in, they don't even put us into the waiting room. They take us right into the back, into a room. And everything moved very quickly and very smoothly. And they did everything they needed to do. I think the only snag was, they did all these different tests and everything came back okay. And then we were waiting for like routine blood work. And it was like over an hour. And I was like, so I went up to the front desk and I said, hi, I'm so sorry to bother you, but we're in room whatever. And I said, it seems like it's been taking a really long time just for routine blood work. And they were busy. it got crazy after we got there, even more so than when we got there. And so after I said something, the doctor came in and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. You know, everything seems normal, blah, 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 whatever." And then they recommend you to follow up with someone, right? So we left, you know, they gave him, you know, some medication and stuff like that. And we left. And so now we have to follow up with a specialist. So I don't know about you, but anytime I've ever tried to make a new patient appointment with a doctor that you've never gone to before, it could be weeks, it could be months. It's just, you know, that's just how these are. These doctors are busy, right? So I was like, oh man, I don't want to wait. I just want to get him in as soon as possible. And so I think I called last Thursday. I think it was last Thursday that I called. And I thought like, oh, I'd really love to get him in like early next week, but this is a specialist and this is, you know, I know this is going to be a nightmare. So I called and I explained the situation. I said, you know, I was hoping to get him in as soon as possible. And they were like, oh, or, you know, let me check, you know, he's busy, blah, blah, blah. And the woman goes, oh, like totally surprised. Oh, she goes, I actually have an appointment open up on May 9th. And I was like, of course you have an appointment open on May 9th. That is my mother's birthday, right? I didn't say that to her because she would have been like, lady. But I was like, oh my God. I said, I'll take it. And like, she was surprised that she even had the appointment open, right? And so I was like, I'll take it. So I immediately called my sister. I said, oh my God, mommy got us this appointment for dad because, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's on her birthday. And she was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you got him in that fast. This is crazy. You're never able to get an appointment that fast. Okay. So that was the second little sign from my mother. And so then the day of the appointment, and again, I tell people call in your higher help every day, every morning. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if your plan for the day is to sit and watch Netflix. You want to enjoy yourself. So you're just going to call in higher help to make sure everything flows easily. You have a relaxing day. Maybe it's a Saturday. Maybe you're like, I'm just going to chill out today, whatever. So I call in higher help every day. But of course, I'm going to call in higher help to go to appointments and things like that. And, you know, if I'm going to a doctor or whatever I'm doing. And so I called in higher help that morning. I called in my mother that morning and I just said, you know, just be with us as we're going to this doctor and what have you. So I get into my husband's car because he has a truck and it's easier for my dad to get into the truck. So I got into his car and I'm still like, I don't drive his car all of the time. And it has like this whole CarPlay thing and like, I don't know, all this stuff. And I don't even know how to use half of it. And I just know how to go back and forth between the GPS and the radio. Okay. So it was on the GPS thing. And I was like, why is the radio not turning on? And I'm pressing all these buttons. And so I start to pull out and I press the FM and all of a sudden the radio goes blaring on. And as I'm leaving and the radio goes blaring on, the song that is on was a song that reminds me of my mother. And it's often a song that she will play when there's something. And I say she will play because our loved ones are pure energy. Our soul is pure energy and our loved ones are in their soul form. And so they are pure energy. And so they can manipulate anything electronic. I don't know how they do it. That would be great if I could figure it out. But I know that they can manipulate songs on the radio. They can manipulate things to turn on and off in your house, light bulbs, all that kind of stuff. So the song on the radio was the Beatles. I think it's the Beatles song, Let It Be. And the reason, not only that, obviously the message of it is like just saying, speaking words of wisdom, let it be, like everything's, just let it be. Don't stress, whatever. The song within it, my mother's name is Marianne. And so within the song, it literally says, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. So it always reminds me of my mother because it says Mother Mary. Her name is Marianne, but anytime my family ever goes to a medium, she comes through as Mary. I don't know why. Nobody called her Mary. They called her Mare. A lot of people called her Mare. But anyway, she comes through with that. So whenever I hear that song and it says Mother Mary, it makes me think of her. And as soon as I got in the car, that was her way of saying, like, I'm with you. Let's go. Let's do this. Like, you got it. And again, it was on her birthday, right? Because we had the appointment on her birthday. So not only was it her birthday, but she gave me that sign just to let us know, like, you know, everything is cool. And so it, to me, it never ceases to amaze me. Now, it has been 20, like I said, almost 23 years, I think. 20, oh my gosh, more than 23 years, that she has passed. And she never fails to come through, whether I ask for, always when I ask for it, always when I ask for a sign, I get it. But even when I'm not specifically asking for a sign, she never fails to come through when there's something going on in my life, my sister's life, my father's life, where, you know, my husband, whatever, peripheral, right? When there's something going on that she knows is, you know, either stressful or emotional, or maybe I'm trying to figure something out with work, whatever it is, she never, ever fails to let us know she's around. Now, I know she helped me get that parking spot at the ER. I know she got me that appointment on her birthday. And I know that was her in the song as soon as I got in the car, because and I can't tell you, it has been a while since I've heard that song. Like, that's not a song that they just play on the radio every day, right? So, and that's how you sort of know, like, oh, okay, this is strange. Yet not strange. So I wanted to share that because, you know, all is well, and everything is going well with my dad right now. But I just feel like it's been 20 something years. And if my mother is still there and my mother is still coming through and letting us know, like, I still see you, I still know what's going on, then your family members are too. And I don't care if they are passed away for 2 days or they are passed away for 40 years. Okay. They are still around. They are still with you. They are still wanting you to know they are around, and they are still helping you and guiding you. I know my mother was helping with that. There's not a doubt in my mind. So, like I said, if it's happening with me, it's happening with you too. And I want you to start recognizing that in your life, because do you know how good it felt to me when I recognized, oh my gosh, that's my mother, right? Oh my gosh, that's her birthday. I can't believe we got, you know, the one appointment that they had left. Oh my gosh, I got in the car and my mother played the song. That means she's with us. She's seeing us right now and is saying, I'm here. I got this. I'm following you. I'm with you. I know what's going on. You're not doing this by yourself. It's incredible to have that certainty, to have that reassurance. And it's been 20 something years and I'm still getting it. And that means that you can get it as well. And that means that your loved ones are trying to get through to you as well. And that's why I literally wrote the book, The Universe is Talking to You, because I want you to live in this way. I want you to live where everything, every day, you're getting these signs, you're seeing the guidance, it's helping you move forward. You're realizing you're not alone when something is going on, when something is stressing you out, when there's something that, you know, you wish this person was here for. Well, they are there. You can't physically see them, right? Although I guess some mediums can. I've never physically seen my mother. But I know that she is there. So basically, I wanted to share this with you because I thought so many people have that feeling like maybe, oh, my loved one's been gone for so long, or my loved one, you know, I don't get signs. And obviously I'm very versed in my mother's signs and I'm very open to it, right? Which is why I now teach other people to do it. But if you are not one that gets them often or recognizes them often, because I don't want to say because you're getting them, I promise you. It's not that your loved ones are not sending them, it's that you're not getting them. So if you are one that is not getting them, what I want you to know is all you have to do is ask. All you have to do is ask. Now, I asked my higher helpers, my angels, my guides, my mother, all of my loved ones to be with me. I didn't specifically ask, send me a sign to let me know you're there, but I did call them in. You can say specifically, mom, dad, brother, sister, husband, wife, whoever has passed, I'm going through X, Y, and Z. I'd really love to have a sign from you to know that you're around and you see what I'm going through and you recognize what's going on. I just want a sign to let me know that things are going to be okay and that you're around me. And you can actually give them a sign. So you can leave it open and let them do it. But if you are new to this world, I want you to actually give them a sign to use, because it will be easier for you to connect with that. And then once you connect with it, it will open you up to more. So I would give them a sign. You can say, use the sign of a rose, use the sign of a butterfly. You could say a pink butterfly. You can say, any type of character, cartoon character, anything that reminds you of that person. And you can even say, use your name. That's the easiest thing. Use your name. I don't care how crazy the name is. It doesn't matter. I've had people say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I tried the name thing and his name was whatever, which is not a name you hear often. And then they wound up hearing it. So that's all you have to do. So if you are going through something right now and you want a sign of reassurance and you want to know that your loved one is there and you want to know that you're not alone, you can assign a sign specifically to that loved one. You can also assign a sign to what I call your soul society, or like the collective. So we all have angels and guides. We have specific ones. We have groups. We might have a group of guides that works with us on one particular thing in our life. I'm actually going to be teaching a class at the end of this month. Stay tuned for that, about helping you meet one of your guides. Actually, the class is going to take you through a process where you're going to meet and actually talk with one of your own guides. But we all have them. And sometimes when I tell you to call them in, I always say, start with calling in the collective. So you're going to call in all of my angels, my guides, my loved ones who have passed on, and all those in my soul society, which is like the group of people on the other side, or souls or angels or entities on the other side who are, working to help you, whether you've known them in this life or not. So call in the collective, and you can assign a sign to your collective as well, saying, just let me know that everything is going to be okay. It's kind of like a sign of reassurance. So you can assign a sign to a particular person, but you can also assign a sign to what I call the collective, just to sort of help you in moving forward and in knowing that you're not alone, and in feeling better, and in realizing, everything is going to be okay. We're not meant to do anything alone, and we're not doing it alone, whether we realize that or not, whether we're getting these signs or not. You're not alone. And so I'm just so grateful that I'm still getting them after all of these years. And I share it with you because I want you to know that your loved ones are doing the same thing for you. And if you're not recognizing them, then you need to specifically ask. And you also always, when you're asking for a sign, you have to say, please send me the sign, and please help me be open to it and to recognize it when it arrives. Help me to be open to it and to recognize it when it arrives. Because again, it's not that you're not getting signs, it's that you're not recognizing them. And that's the key, right? We need to recognize them. So that's the other piece of that is just being able to ask for it and ask for help in recognizing it. And when you start doing it, there's so many people who say to me they don't get signs, and then all of a sudden they'll try what I'm saying. And then I get emails saying, oh my gosh, like I can't believe this. And I asked for this crazy thing that I didn't think would ever happen. And then it happened and I got it. And I'm like, I love when people try to test our loved ones or the universe. Like they're like, I'm just going to give them something that there's no way they're going to be able to do that. Like I'm going to give them something that is impossible. I'm going to give a song that there's never play on the radio, right? And I have this all the time. I hear from people all the time. They're like, oh, I gave them, X, Y, and Z, or this, and I've never heard the song on the radio in my life. And then they go into a store and the song is playing overhead, right? Go ahead and test them. Give them something that's difficult, because I promise you they will come through. And I get that all the time from people. And I love when I get that, when they're like, oh, well, I wanted to do this, but I said, no, I'm going to give them something hard. So I give them X, Y, and Z. And then I cannot believe it did it. I cannot believe I got it. So that's always fun too. And I love hearing from people when they say that to me, or they say like, oh, I did this and then I changed it to this, but then the first sign came through. Does that count? Well, yeah, they heard the first sign that you gave them. So yeah, that counts too, if you're going to decide to switch it in between. So anyway, I just, I like to come on here and share stuff, share my own stuff basically. And so, that's sort of what's been going on here. And happy birthday to Marianne. It was her birthday. She would have been 77 on May 9th. And she's still helping from the other side. She's still being a mother. She's still being a wife. She's still involved in our family. And your loved ones are too. It's not just my mother. Years ago, before I ever wrote the book, The Universe is Talking to You, I would hear from people all the time, because I would always tell my stories. Like, this is not new. I'm now saying it. I'm on the internet, right? Saying these stories. But I was always telling these stories, and I would always hear from people, oh my gosh, like that's so awesome. Like, I can't believe how much your mother communicates with you. Like, my father's been gone, or my brother's been gone, or whoever, and I don't get any signs. And I used to literally think like, oh wow, like maybe my mom's special, right? And she is, of course, she's special to me, but everybody has the ability to communicate, and it's our job. It's their job to learn how to send the signs. And believe me, once they get there, it's second nature. But it's our job to open up and recognize them. And that's our job in this two-way communication. The universe, our angels, our guides, our loved ones are constantly talking to us. It's our job to remember how to listen and receive what's coming through. And that's really what I decided I had to teach people, because I was like, okay, I must be doing something differently, because I don't think that my mother is the only soul on the other side that knows how to communicate this well. I must be doing something different. And so that's when I started breaking down, okay, what am I doing that's different? And if I wanted to help someone else open up to it, what would I teach them? And that's when I started teaching this to other people. And that's where the book, The Universe is Talking to You, came from, where I came up with the 5-step process to start helping you open up. Because I always say, it's like, once you start opening up, it's like opening a door that you can never close again. Because once you've seen the other side of it, you're like, oh, wow, like now I know this exists. Now I can never not think this exists. So hopefully all of that makes sense. And hopefully you enjoyed the story of my mom. I just want to check some of the comments. Let's see. Oh, Jude is saying, hey, better late than ever. Hi, Jude. Had a huge sign plus a quantum leap from my son. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I think Jude's actually one of our members. You should post that in the membership community on Facebook. Hold on, let me see. Lori. Hi, Tammy. I did your money prayer and received an unexpected check in the mail today. Please schedule a class. People will love this one. That is hysterical. I've taught so many classes. Maybe I'll do it again this year, my abundance class. But yes, you guys, when you ask, the universe answers you. It doesn't always answer you in the exact manner you expect, and it doesn't always answer you in the timing that you expect. However, for money, I always tell people to call on the Catholic Saint Expedite, because he was known for fast cash. So if you're looking for some fast cash, he's a good one to call on. That's the only caveat I would say for like fast. Otherwise, it's the universe's timing. And when we ask for something, the universe has to put those puzzle pieces together for us. And sometimes that takes a little time. But I absolutely love that. I love that you did the prayer and received an unexpected check. I have to say that's happened to me before. My husband always laughs at me because I for some reason, I tend to get checks in the mail from like insurance companies that I haven't had as my insurance carrier for like 10 plus years. And he's like, I just will get a check for like $500 from them, like saying, oh, you overpaid or whatever from years ago. And I'm like, I either did a ritual, I've been, I'll be doing my exercises, whatever I'm doing. I constantly get strange, unexpected checks in the mail when I start focusing on it. So I love that it worked for you as well. That's so cool. Oh, let me just see. Oh, Mary says, I'm sitting here with a huge smile on my face. Well, hopefully it's because you like my story. Thank you, Mary. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to come on here and talk about. I always love when the universe provides me with content from my own life, because I feel like it's interesting to hear other people's stories. And also I feel like I really do try and live what I teach you. And so when things happen in my own life, when I'm doing my own exercises or doing my own work, calling in that help, I like to share it. And I do it for parking spaces all the time, you guys, all the time. I really, really do. And it really does work. As you're on your way there, just call in your angels and guides and ask for it. And it's literally helped me so many times in my life. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, Jude. Yeah. Definitely post it in the membership community's Facebook page. For those of you who don't know, I have a Higher Helpline membership community where I'm actually going to be teaching that guides class, but I am going to open it up to other people to join. The membership obviously gets it at a lower price as part of their monthly membership, but stay tuned for that, because it's called Meet Your Personal Spirit Guide. And I do it every year, and it includes an MP3 that you can use afterwards to continue communicating with your guide. So that is coming up. It is not for sale yet, but I will let you know when it is. If you are part of the membership, do not buy it. It is part of your $29 a month membership. And I can't wait to teach that, because that is so much fun. And it's a process that I continually use in my own life to meet new guides all of the time. And you can use over and over again also, because we all have them. You don't have to know who they are to call them in and to work with them. But if you do know who they are, that's amazing. I have met money guides. I have met a guide that helps me with relationships. I have met a guide that helps me tame the chaos and be more consistent with spiritual practices. There's guides for so many different things. So that's just a whole aside, but that is coming up. So stay tuned here, and I will be talking about it. And when you can sign up for it, I will definitely post it on Facebook and Instagram and all of that. And I just have to let you know. So next Thursday, I don't think I'm going to be live here, because I'm going to an annual gem show that they have here in New Jersey. If you happen to be in the area, I think it runs Wednesday through Sunday, next Sunday, in Edison, New Jersey, at the Edison Convention Center. And my husband and I go every year, and he's working on the weekend. So Thursday is the day that we can go. And so I will be on Instagram and Facebook stories sharing a bunch of stuff from there. But I don't think I'm going to be live, because it actually opens at noon. And I think we're going to be there for that. So that's why I probably won't be live next Thursday. But again, I will be sharing from the show, because it's like nothing I've ever seen before. It's one of these shows that is like at a convention center. And just when you think it's over, you walk into another room and it's like filled. And I always find the coolest stuff. And I do in my membership community, I do monthly giveaways for everybody. So I always stock up on giveaways that I do each month for them. And then I stock up on stuff for myself. And every year my husband and I say, we're not going to buy anything big. And then we wind up doing it, but we're really going to try not to this year. But I will share in my Instagram, and I will share in my Facebook stories for next Thursday. So stay tuned for that. Maybe I'll post something as well. And then I'll be back. And I've been lining up some special guests that are going to be in my weekly spirit boosts coming up. I always like to bring people in that I really love and that I've had personal experiences with and things like that. So stay tuned for that, because that'll be coming up as well. So I thank you for being here, and stay tuned again for next week in my story so that you can if you're not following me on Instagram, it's at Elevated Tammy on there, and it's a verified account, so you can see a little check mark. And then you can follow me and my husband as we venture into this gem show, which is like a mini Christmas for me. I love going every year. I can't. We went to St. Augustine, and I went to a gem place. Anywhere I travel, I have to find the metaphysical shops. So I'm excited about it. So stay tuned to that. And in the meantime, have a wonderful and amazing weekend. Please assign a sign, whatever you're going through, and you want reassurance that not only are you going to be okay and you're doing well, but that your loved ones are around you. Assign a sign this weekend. And then reach out to me on social media and let me know what happened, because I absolutely love to hear the stories. I never get tired of it, because it always surprises and delights me how our loved ones can answer us and come through, especially when we ask for it. So have an amazing and wonderful weekend, all of you. And I will not see you back here live next Thursday. I'll be back the Thursday after that, but stay tuned to in my Instagram at Elevated Tammy and Facebook stories I promise to be sharing from the show. Bye, everyone.